Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. Today we are talking about Dr. Stone, The Stone Wars, or Dr. Stone Season 2, whichever you prefer, Episode 10. And let me tell you, did this episode frickin' throw me off? Like, just way left field. I think this is left. Yeah, my left. Maybe you're right when I'm recording this. But holy crap, did this thing throw me off massively. I thought it was going to be all hunkadory by the way the beginning of the episode went. We depetrified Tsukasa's sister, Myra. And, you know, she's this cute little girl. She's got the petrification scars. Somehow it's, like, on her hair. Makes her exhibits this kind of neat little hairdo. You know, Tsukasa's crying. He's been waiting for this the entire time. Kohaku understands his pain because she was doing the same thing for Ruri, you know, every day hoping that Ruri would eventually heal and get better. And that's what Tsukasa was doing for his younger sister. As well, you know, trying to just make money, keep her alive, even though there was no hope. But he was holding on by a little bit, hoping that one day they would be able to cure her and get her back to normal. Now, because of the petrification or depetrification or de-stoned, whichever you prefer, she was able to heal, and now she's good to go. She's like, "Oh, Tsukasa, you look so old," and they have a nice little heartfelt moment. Everything seems hunky-dory until Crow mentions that some of the dynamite is missing. And we're thinking, you know, really nothing of it. Even Genro said nothing of it. He was like, "Oh, who cares? You know, we've been using the dynamite for some certain stuff. Of course there's going to be something missing." And then Chrome's like, "No, I count everything. I keep track of everything. I know exactly how much I have of everything." You know, he's very good with inventory. And that leads us to believe that something bad is about to happen, and it does. So we learn that Yo is running around trying to figure out where Senku's home base is in order to recapture Chrome for Tsukasa, because he has no idea that Tsukasa is now in a truce currently with Senku. And then he ends up finding Homaru, and she says, "You know, when the time is right, free me, go tell Hoga where I am, let everybody know what's going on," because Homaru doesn't know that Tsukasa has lost essentially at this point too. And then what happens is Mantle was guarding her. He gets his head beat in, unfortunately. Probably deserved it anyway. He's a little creep. Mantle's a little creep. Yo finds out, and then they use that dynamite that most likely Hoga stole to blow up the Miracle Cave. So no more Miracle Elixir. It's all gone. However, Hoga does have a plan. So he does not have the same ideals as Tsukasa. The only reason he's following Tsukasa, as I assumed from the beginning, was because Tsukasa is stronger than him. If they go have a fight one-on-one, there's really nothing he can do. Tsukasa's going to win that fight. But now Tsukasa has somebody he wants to protect, and he does. So Hoga throws us a curveball, goes after his sister, knowing that Tsukasa is going to jump in front of it, and stabs Tsukasa through the freaking lung, like with his spear sticking out of his back. And I'm just like, what the F just happened? Where is all of this coming from? Yeah, and I'm just sitting there like, what? Like, I was not expecting this to happen at all. I thought, okay, we got a truce, peaceful episode, good to go. No, but Hoga has his own agenda. And he was, I believe, the ex-Navy SEAL. Senku actually runs in to save Tsukasa before Tsukasa falls off a cliff into the water, and then Hoga ends up knocking them both off and jumping into the water as well. Later we learned that Hoga knocked Yo into the water just to see where it ended up, because he thinks some people are expendable. He has no problem killing people either, clearly. So he's definitely a dangerous person. And follows them to the river, where he gets Senku alone and kind of unveils his master plan, which is simply that he thinks that, "I don't care about kids, we should only revive the strongest of the strong, and you don't have a choice. I'll torture you if I have to. I'll cut your fingers off one by one, then I'll cut off your toes, your leg, so on and so forth." And Senku's like, "Oh crap." Meanwhile, Tsukasa's on the ground. He can't do anything because he got friggin' impaled. And Hoga's like, "Hey, you know, that's going to be a fatal wound. You are going to die." So it is a possibility that Tsukasa is actually going to die in the next episode, episode 11. We don't fully know how that's going to all pan out, but I think there is a very good possibility that Hoga is, he killed Tsukasa. Tsukasa is going to die. It just kind of sucks. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think who knows? We have no idea. We left with Senku kind of passed out on the ground along with Tsukasa. So it's 50-50 that Tsukasa knows enough about medical stuff to angle himself, so he didn't actually get hit in the lung. But Hoga is under the impression that he definitely pierced him in the lung. But keep in mind, you only need one lung to breathe, so it's not necessarily a fatal wound 100%, although he got impaled, so 50-50 at this point in time. We don't fully know how that is all going to pan out exactly. So what ends up happening is Senku and Tsukasa actually team up. Senku somehow managed to make gunpowder, and he tried to blow Hoga up, which didn't work because Hoga took off his friggin' cloak with a spear and spun it around, to smother out the fire, which is a very smart move on his part. And then Hoga, what happens to him next, I think is pretty freaking hilarious. So Senku has all the components of the old cell phone that Hoga destroyed, and he hooks up all the batteries, creating basically a giant taser. So it's a transformer that he creates that creates electricity. That's how he lit the gunpowder on fire. He got cut on the pinky, so he wrapped it up around his pinky, and then has the two wires sticking out. But it's equivalent to a 100,000 volt taser, from what Senku said. And then you got Tsukasa, who's fighting for his life. Hoga's got the spear above him, and then he's just holding on to the spear, holding on to Hoga's arm, as Senku slowly crawls up to him and just gently taps him with his pinky, electrocuting him, knocking him out. So Hoga, I guess, was a formidable foe as well, but he got defeated in one episode. I thought that was going to be a multiple episode thing. So look forward to next episode being peaceful. I'm giving this episode a 9 out of 10 because it was pretty damn close to perfect, and it just surprised the crap out of me. I thought this was just going to be a peaceful episode, revive some people, everybody's happy-go-lucky. But of course, the action is there, came back, and I'm just happy we're at where we're at because this was a delightful episode. Completely, highly recommend. I've been loving this season, loving this show a lot more than some other shows I've been watching so far. And I'm just like, yes, I want more. I want more Dr. Stone. I'm really enjoying this, and I honestly mean that. What I think is probably going to happen next episode is we are going to possibly learn about the people or whatever, that turned everybody to stone. Hoga even said, that someone somewhere realized that it was impossible to, sustain 7 billion people on the planet, which is basically where we're at right now, about 7 billion people, maybe a little more. And that's the reason they turned everybody to stone, was basically to thin the herd, so that way the planet could sustain itself for the future, and humans wouldn't use up all of the resources. So that's why Hoga was so determined to, let's not unpetrify everybody. I don't want a bunch of useless kids running around that I'm just going to have to feed and take care of. That's going to be a pain in the butt. I want a bunch of people with specific skills, like you're super strong, super smart, things along those lines, where they have a very good discernible skill, and they can utilize that for something in this stone world. So I think that's going to possibly be the next arc, and Senku kind of brushed it off as nothing, like, yeah, I'm kind of curious about why we all got turned to stone, but at the same time, that's not what I'm focusing on right now. His focus obviously being to unpetrify everybody, unstone everybody, get the world back to where it was 3,000 years ago, and then just get civilization moving along again to a point where everybody can kind of get back to their normal day-to-day lives, and they're not, kind of fighting to survive as they have been. Even though it's Senku bringing in the freeze-dried food, bringing in the furnaces, so on and so forth, was a very good move, because then he can work on more science stuff, make bigger buildings, unpetrify more people, and we're going to have to see how he does that now, because the Miracle Cave is destroyed. I don't know if Senku has the ability to make nitric acid. Somebody actually mentioned in the science community with the sulfur that he had and the other stuff that he actually could have made nitric acid without the cave, but that would ruin a lot of the show, so I'll forgive that part of it. Not that I'm majorly into science anyway. I like it, but I don't fully understand it, unfortunately. That is where it is. So I think what's going to happen next episode is they're going to try to work to clear the rubble from the cave to get as much nitric acid as they can. Senku may figure out a way to create it again, or maybe they'll go out searching for another miracle cave with the bat guano creating nitric acid. We don't really know. We'll just have to wait and see and find out. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, and feel free to comment down below what you would like me to do for future anime and cartoon related videos. Yashahime is ending this week. You're also going to start seeing Final Space, probably pushing that to Monday. And then My Hero Academia, I think, comes out next week too, Season 5, so I will also be reviewing that as well. So there's 2 shows, at least. And then we got a little bit of Jujutsu Kaisen left, 1 episode of Promised Neverland, and we're going to be wrapping up some of these shows this week and next week. So there you have it. There you go. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.